Adia.
Hi, good evening.
We go way, way, way back.
Yeah.
It's taken me about 15 years to get here. I used to listen and listen and listen to your talks and to other teachers.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one of them saying, do the next obvious thing. And I really felt strongly that I needed to get away from my type A life. I raised 5 kids. I was very busy, a lawyer, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And so 5 years ago, I quit everything, left my job, took off with a tent, and thought I would get awakened. And I spent, for 8 months I was in solitude, and I was so type A doing this whole thing that I just, I'd look at my watch and think this should be happening. This is,
Yes.
and then I would start getting resentful because
Yeah.
it's like, hey, I gave up this, I gave up that.
Right, I gave up everything.
This isn't so much, this tent is getting cold, it's so much fun anymore. Okay, so then I went to Asia. It was a lot of satsangs, a lot of meditation retreats,
Yeah.
but it's very obvious to me now that when you grasp something like I did, it's
Yeah.
not going to happen, and
You
it
went all
didn't.
in, yeah.
I think I'm in a better place because I did it and I realized that
Well, that's the thing. It's one thing, to say, oh, we don't need to grasp, we don't need to struggle, we don't need to strive. But also, at a more human level, maybe we do. Maybe we need to do it so we can find out in our own experience, so we can run. Sometimes the only way to do it is run a pattern out. Sometimes it's theory's one thing, but then sometimes there's certain things you just have to play out, and you
I don't
played
think I
it
can
out.
go to one more group or one more satsang or one more New Age person. I think I'll shoot myself. I'm here in Silicon Valley because at one point I realized I'm not made to live in a cave or be a meditator. It's not happening. So now I'm interested in artificial intelligence and trying to get a job and trying to make trying to make something happen in this world. But what I'm really afraid of is going back to my old self and being a crazy type A, and I have to. So I guess
you could, but
I am.
But also trust a part of yourself. If you go 100% back into the whole type A thing, if you do that, you're gonna keep your head's gonna keep coming up on the surface of the water, and you're going to be asking yourself, what am I doing? That'll happen because you've had too much experience. Now, I think it's fantastic personally. I think it's fantastic that you went on your journey. I think it's fantastic that you're re-engaging in life. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I think re-engagement can be as conducive spiritually as disengagement. They all have their time. They all have their place. Of course, you have a certain concern because the personality type, you can just go type A and just forget about, your own, whatever you want to call that, your own soul in a certain sense. You can do that, but now knowing that you can do that, you wouldn't do it for that long before you made adjustments. You just wouldn't.
It's just hard if you're around when I'm around people who have a lot of stuff and who've done a life that I could have had or did have or want to show off. So, I can see my ego in all of it. So it's all good. But, and that's what you see sometimes.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. But it's just about as easy or uneasy as it is for anybody else. The circumstances just change, and we each have our own, whatever our challenge is, But it's just about being in touch with what's completely authentic, with what's really, really real. And now that you've had the experience, now that you sought to your type A, you had 5 type A years of experience of seeking. Now you can also, because by the way, my story, I saw it until I almost went crazy. I just told the whole group of people here that.
I'm there.
Yeah, and I had a teacher saying, don't do that, basically. Do this, a little more like this, kid, a little more like this. I couldn't hear it. I had to run it out of my system. So I ran it out of my system. And then I literally remembered this image, not the words even came. I kept having this image. I'd be sitting down, meditating, or sometimes even when I wasn't, and I would just see that hand going like this. And I was like, oh yeah, I think I can do that now. I think I can maybe let something come to me. I think I've pursued enough, and I can maybe I can actually let something come to me now, because I played the other out. I got a lot of it out of my system. That's all I would want to suggest. I don't want to give you a bunch more to do or not to do, because that's not what you're asking for.
I always heard that once you stop seeking, that's when it happens. So I was like, okay, now.
Yeah.
So it's the same old craziness.
I know,
it'll never stop.
That's
okay.
That's the whole thing. Everybody does that, right? Someone says seek, you seek. Someone says, okay, no seeking. You have to stop seeking. Then you're trying not to seek. It's like trying not to try.
Yeah.
It's like desiring to let go. They're mutually exclusive things. They come to you. That's why I say, as my teacher said, everybody has their dance. You just have to dance your dance out. Sometimes you just have to dance it out. And no matter what your mind says you need to be doing, sometimes you can do that and sometimes you can't. But every once in a while, these little moments are going to just occur for you when you'll be able to be in a different relationship with. It's not, now what I got to do is not seeking, because then that's my new plan, that's my new strategy, and then it doesn't work either, right? Because as long as in strategy, just remember that this is all about being authentic. That's what it's about, being like really authentic and not taking anybody's word for it until you've proved it true for yourself. That's why I say I wouldn't suggest you take my word for it, but just experiment a little bit, I know what trying to get it is, and I could do the opposite, like try to let go. Now that doesn't even feel real at a certain point. But in the middle there somewhere is just, maybe I can just let things come to me a little bit. Maybe I can experiment with that. That's not quite seeking, but that's not quite checking out either. There's something in there in the middle. Like maybe, I wonder what happens if I kind of have a little intentional letting things come to me.
I'll try not to try that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's great to see you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay.